Next on Newsbeat, they are loud and they are mad. Hundreds of Chicago taxi drivers protest the city's growing rideshare services.
Plus, terrorists could be targeting major malls across the country, and 3 of them are right here in Chicago.
And just when you thought Chicago politics couldn't get any more wild, there's a historic twist in the mayoral election. Those stories and more next on Newsbeat. Good morning, Chicago, and thank you for joining us. Today is March 3rd, and I'm Crystal Brown.
And I'm Raquel Harris. Our top story this Tuesday morning, a taxi protest is downtown Chicago. But first, let's get to the extreme weather that's been taking us all by storm this morning.
Rain continues to glaze the streets of Chicago. Newsbeat's Liz DeLue in our Weather Center with more details.
This morning's commute was a messy one. With all that snow and rain and ice, the trains were delayed, the traffic was backed up, it was just a complete mess out there. And to think that this is the first couple days of March. And so right now we have temperatures at 33 degrees, it feels like it's 14, and a wind chill of 23 degrees. But hopefully things will warm up, and it looks like they will. So let's take a look at that. Wednesday and Thursday will be the coldest days with 20 and 15 and a low of 5. And Friday and Saturday, it's looking like we're going to warm up. And Saturday, we're going to get 39 degrees and sunny. And that's it for the weather this week. And back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Liz. The new cashless way of getting around Chicago has traditional taxi drivers furious.
They're afraid that new ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft will eventually wipe out their business. The cabbies staged a dramatic protest. Ashley Smith is live in studio with more on the story. Ashley?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, ladies. Although Uber and Lyft are convenient for many, they do cause a concern for some. Traditional cab drivers feel threatened by ride-sharing services, so they took to the streets for a very effective and very loud protest. Riding bumper to bumper while honking horns, cab drivers make their way through downtown Chicago protesting against unfair ride-sharing services. The protests begin Tuesday morning on Randolph and Clark Street between the early hours of 6 and 10 a.m. A cab driver who wished to remain anonymous fears he may lose his job because of ride-sharing services such as Uber.
The protest is very, very good. It's a big problem, the Uber. Uber maybe it's 30% and I lose a job.
Unlike taxis, ride-sharing services like Uber allows its riders to split fares as well as see their driver and car prior to their pickup. Uber tracks your location, searches for cars in your area, and immediately sends an Uber driver your way. Brandon Barba of the Hilton understands the anger from the cabbies, but still sides with passengers.
I can see the customer's view too. You know, they get into a cab and the cab won't let them use a credit card for like a couple of blocks. They get upset. You know, so that's why I take Uber, because of credit cards. That's basically the main reason.
Taxi drivers are now looking for a resolution as to how they can prevent Uber from stealing their fares. This protest is actually the latest in a series of attempts by taxi drivers who wish to draw attention to their complaints regarding the fare system and city regulations. They want one of two things: either make the ride-sharing drivers follow the same regulations or lower their fare rates so they can compete.
So how was it out there? Was it crazy or, you know?
You know, it was really crazy, like you stated before. It was very crazy outside. The cars were like back to back, and there was a lot of traffic, a lot of loud horn honking, and it was just chaotic outside.
That's crazy. I can understand why they'd be upset. Well, thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you, ladies.
Shopping malls in the U.S. and Canada are on high alert. Terrorists affiliated with ISIS have released videos that show how to violently attack malls. This is video by terror group Al-Shabaab. A masked man talked about attacking the Mall of America and other major malls around the world. The video post included photos and GPS coordinates of the locations intended as targets. Malls are working with local police departments and ramping up security in an effort to keep shoppers safe.
3 missing London teens have been seen exiting a flight that landed in Turkey. Authorities believe the teenage girls plan to travel from Turkey to Syria to join terrorist group ISIS. All 3 of the missing London girls have been identified. Shamima Begum, Khadija Sultana, and Amir Abbasi were then later captured on surveillance cameras at a Turkish bus station. It is believed the teens are on their way to Syria. A spokesperson for the Turkish president speaks about safety measures.
About these 3 British citizens, British authorities and our authorities, our security forces and our intelligence service are working together diligently to find them.
Officials are using social media and news outlets in Turkey in attempts to convince the girls to return home before it's too late.
It is a steamy bestseller and a hit movie. Now, 50 Shades of Grey is a focus of an alleged sex assault. A UIC student is facing charges for allegedly acting out of scenes from the movie with unwilling participant. Newsbeat's Natalie Cardona joins us now with more on the investigation.
Students at the UIC campus are still buzzing after an alleged assault that happened on February 21st. They are still talking about safety and about what happened.
I don't do romance.
Just days after the box office hit 50 Shades of Grey was released, 19-year-old Mohammed Hussein, pictured here, allegedly told authorities he was reenacting scenes from the risque film with a 19-year-old female UIC student. Prosecutors say Hussein bound and gagged the female, then beat her with a belt, ignoring her cries to stop.
This here is the building where the alleged assault took place, on the 900 West Harrison block on USC's campus. The prosecutors say that in Hussein's dorm room is where the violent encounter occurred.
In the area we are right now, there's a lot of crime around these parts, and I believe we need security, especially on campus.
Some anti-domestic violence groups like the National Center on Sexual Exploitation are advocating a boycott of the movie, saying that the film promotes violence against women.
Security at UIC, I guess it needs some work. We do have problems with guests, at least on my floor.
But if something like that can happen where I'm pretty sure she was screaming and no one heard her, there's something wrong going there. Something, or people who are in charge with the floors, or maybe more security guards at night.
Hussein is currently being held on a $500,000 bond. UIC officials are telling students not to talk to the media. They are allegedly working on ways to improve security at the dorms. I'm Natalie Cardona, back to you guys.
So how would you describe students now? How are they reacting?
There was an overall sense of concern on the whole campus, both guys and girls. Everybody's just worried about, walking around even. Didn't really see too much security when I was there. So, tough stuff.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, Chicago's mayor race is making history. For the first time in 20 years, the mayoral election has been forced into a runoff. Despite massive campaign funding, Mayor Rahm Emanuel was unable to clinch a majority vote. Jesus Chuy Garcia surprised everyone by winning enough votes to put Emanuel on defense. The mayoral candidates are set to appear in 3 televised debates during the month of March. The runoff election will take place on April 7th.
It was one of the most talked about dresses on the red carpet at the Oscars. All eyes were on this white hot dress worn by Lupita Nyong'o, including a thief. You won't believe why the dress was taken and then returned.
And later today, the bullseye is on Target. See why the retail giant is quickly becoming #1.
This garment bag is the $150,000 Calvin Klein dress. The all-pearl dress was worn by actress Lupita Nyong'o at this year's Oscars. It was reportedly stolen shortly after the ceremony. Lieutenant Michael White with the West Hollywood Police Station says a media outlet contacted the police after receiving an anonymous tip about the dress.
Saying that the dress had been returned to the hotel and placed in a restroom on the 2nd floor of the hotel that was in the process of being renovated.
2 women staying at the hotel say they have been following the story closely.
We heard about the stolen dress. I was concerned.
but I'm so glad it was found.
Lieutenant White says the thieves reportedly returned the dress after discovering the pearls were fake.
I would imagine there are lots of designers out that design garments that are valued at a lot of money that don't have any jewels on them, so that wouldn't change anything in our investigation.
That investigation of who broke into the actress's hotel room, how they were able to get past security, and if the dress returned is indeed the designer's gown.
I feel safe, but when I heard about that, I was a little concerned.
We have lots of interesting things that happen in West Hollywood.
Police are still investigating whether or not this is indeed the Calvin Klein one-of-a-kind dress. So do you guys think those pearls are real?
You know, I hope that they are because I'm a huge fan of pearls, so I hope that they are. And I mean, I'm sure she has tons of money, so
right.
That shouldn't be a concern.
How do you figure out if the pearl is real or not?
So you have to bite on the pearl. So, and if it shaves off any drizzle or anything like that, then it's real. If it doesn't, then it's fake.
Ah, that's good to know.
Yes, exactly. But back to this, Target announces it will lower its free shipping minimum. The minimum has dropped from $50 to $25. Compared to Amazon, Target now has the lowest shipping free at all. The retail giant already offers free shipping on orders placed with their brand credit card. Target has announced it will reduce its shipping minimum for online shoppers. Anyone who spends $25 now qualifies for free shipping. That's down from $50.
The happiest place on earth is about to cost you a lot more to visit. Disney announced their one-day ticket prices will go up soon. A family of four might cost parents a pretty penny, close to $400. For a one-day ticket, prices are up from $96 to $99. The Magic Kingdom has increased from $99 to $105, with Epcot and Animal Kingdom increasing from $94 to $97. Disney said their multi-day pass will be the best value for families.
There are now 15 confirmed cases of measles here in Illinois. 13 of them are from a single daycare center in the northwest suburban Palatine County. Now, Cook County health officials are hoping to prevent measles for more cases by educating daycare providers. One daycare I visited is pulling out all of the stops and plenty of Purell. Neil Armstrong Elementary has a before and after program for daycare students. Teachers and administrators there, like others around Illinois, are now on high alert for measles prevention. Providers are doing all that they can to protect students from the disease. Measles lives in the nose and throat of an infected person and can spread the disease starting 4 days before the rash begins until 4 days after it appears. The disease has now infected 11 people in Illinois. The majority are infants who have stayed in daycare centers where someone was already infected. A daycare may seem like just fun and games, but measles can quickly spread through coughing and sneezing and can stay on toys like these for up to 2 hours. Dr. Terry Mason, Chief Operating Officer at Cook County Department of Public Health, says that more cases are likely to appear.
No one should be there that is not appropriately vaccinated for measles. There'll be more cases. This is a highly contagious disease. There are likely to be more cases. And so we shouldn't be surprised by that.
Davia Wilkerson, Education Coordinator over the Challengers program, says that the safety of her students is her top priority.
I do believe that all of our students enrolled in the program are vaccinated. We have just been increasing the use of Clorox wipes, things of that nature, making sure that the kids are using.
Health officials have yet to find a link to the disease, but Cook County is now offering free measles vaccinations in Palatine.
The Chicago Bulls were down but not out, thanks to a deep bench.
Joe DeAngelis has the sneak peek of sports coming up next.
Life without Derrick Rose just got even harder for the Bulls after their game against the LA Clippers.
Blackhawks has an injury bug bitten the Blackhawks and forced them to take action on the ice and in the front office.
A lot going on in sports this week, from the Hawks to the Bulls.
Newsbeat Joe DeAngelis joins us with all the highlights and the latest in sports. Joe?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, there certainly is a lot going on. Both the Hawks and the Bulls find themselves in survival mode after injuries to star players Patrick Kane and Derrick Rose. Let's start with the Bulls, who played host to the LA Clippers at the United Center. We'll pick it up in the second quarter with Jimmy Butler delivering the dime to Nikola Mirotic for the jam to bring the Bulls to within 4. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for the Bulls, it does. Jimmy Butler hyperextends his elbow on a screen by DeAndre Jordan. He would not return. In the fourth quarter, Joakim Noah feeds Mirotic, who lays it in. Mirotic stepped up in this one scoring 29 points, but that wasn't enough. With less than 2 minutes to go, Chris Paul crosses over at the top of the key and delivers a dagger over Pau Gasol. Paul had 28 points, while DeAndre Jordan grabbed 29 rebounds in the game. The Bulls lose 96-86. The Blackhawks took on the Carolina Hurricanes at the UC last night, and the captain got things going quickly with a goal 8 minutes in. And then later on, the Blackhawks in the second period, the captain strikes yet again, putting in his second consecutive goal. And later on, they kept it coming. Brandon Saad takes a shot and then gets a quick rebound and puts that one in. Later in the period, Andrew Shaw has a rebound go off the goalie, and Marcus Kruger puts that one in. They were happy in the UC last night. Blackhawks win 5-2. And we're awaiting news for a funeral for Minnie Minoso, the Chicago White Sox legend that passed away on Sunday morning. An autopsy revealed that Minoso died of a tear in his pulmonary artery on Sunday. He played 17 seasons in the majors, 12 with the White Sox, along the way earning the nickname the Cuban Comet. Minoso was the first black Latin to appear in the majors and the first black player in White Sox history. He was a 7-time All-Star and a 3-time Gold Glove winner, and off the field was known for his kindness and charisma. Minoso was 90 years old. And real quick, White Sox ace Chris Sale may not be ready for opening day due to injury. The Cubs named John Lester their opening day starter. The Blackhawks acquired Antoine Vermette and Kimo Timonen in 2 separate trades. And in the NFL, linebacker Justin Houston and wide receiver Demaryius Thomas received the franchise tag, keeping them on their respective teams. And Ndamukong Suh did not receive the franchise tag, meaning he may have the opportunity to test free agency. That does it for sports, guys.
So I just have to ask you a question about Derek. So when is he going to get better? Is that ever going to happen? Or?
I mean, long term, we don't know how Derek is going to be, but we do know that there's a chance he'll be back for the playoffs this season, and the same goes for Patrick Kane. So things can only get better before they get worse around here in Chicago.
Well, that's good news.
We can hope so.
Right.
And that's all we have for today's show. I'm Crystal Brown.
And I'm Raquel Harris. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Newsbeat.